Hey gamers, the Red Dragon here from BattleStrats.com, and during this clip I'm going to be talking about a whole host of different things that will hopefully improve your game on Homefront. So occasionally I may reference to the video if I see something. Usually at the beginning of every round, the first thing I do is I go for one of these basics. It's an easy 250 points. When you're starting out in Homefront, one of the first things you need to do is go set up your classes in the armory. Set up those perks, make sure you're using all the points available to you, because sometimes you'll go in there and you'll have an extra point left over, and there's no reason not to put that on something. And it may take you a little while figuring out what it is that you want to do in the game, whether it's use drones or what type of player you're going to be, and depending on that is how you'll want to set up your class. But it is time consuming to go through and set them all up, but it's really good to do that, and you can set them up according to the map. So if you're playing a certain map that's close quarters, you can have one setup or a different setup. It's just like Call of Duty. I know that's common sense for a lot of people, but some people just don't take the time to do it. They just want to jump right in, play the game, and I'm telling you, you'll get a lot more out of the game if you'll just go through and take the time to set that up. Now, I go between back and forth a lot of different guns. There's a lot of different ways you can play this. My favorite gun so far is probably the ACR. I really like it. A lot of people don't like it because they say it has a lot of recoil. To me, it really doesn't bother me that much. One thing that I do a lot, and I don't believe I did it in this game, but usually, by the way, I'm running up this hill, trying to get up here anyway, to get rid of all these snipers, because we've been alerted by one of our teammates that there's some snipers up here camping, so we're going to try to take care of them for our teammates down below, because snipers can be really pesky, and when we're trying to capture bases and everything, you don't want your guys being sniped, so we're trying to take care of that. And I totally lost track of what I was saying. I was probably going to talk about the drones. If you're starting out and you're having a difficult time just running and dying, which I started out with, use these drones. Check this out right here. I believe this is Lady Dragon that's lighting all these people up for us. And I mean, right there, that just helps so much. And we saved B. We're not having to stay on B, but we've got our parrot drone up in the sky, and they're looking over that, and that helps tremendously. You get a lot of points for spotting people, and you're helping out the team. And so if you're having trouble starting out, that may be something you want to take a look at and just try doing, and it may give you a new perspective on the game. I know it did me. And also using the drone gives you a good view of the map overall, so it's going to help you learn the map a little bit faster, and also figure out where the enemies spawn, so you'll know kind of which direction they'll be coming from. Now, I will say this with this game. This is one of the few games that I don't burst fire a whole lot with. Just about in every shooter that I play, you'll always hear me say burst fire, burst fire. And I do with this game if I'm shooting really long distance, but if I'm up close, really I just hold down the trigger, and it seems to work. So this is one of the few games where just tapping the trigger doesn't seem to be as effective as some of the other games that you've played. There's not as much recoil, I don't believe. So one thing you want to do when you're playing the game is, you have these extra abilities that you can get. A lot of people call in Hellfire missiles or phosphorus. Just kind of think about, just because you have the points doesn't mean you have to use it. Use it when it's appropriate. So if you have a phosphorus grenade and the match is really close, save it up for whenever one of the bases is being taken. That way you can throw it on there, defend that base. You're helping out your team. You're going to save the win. Just don't pull it out as soon as you get that number of points and just go use it just because you got it. You can really help out your team by just holding those in and kind of saving it. Right here, I used to think this chopper was one of the weakest. I did have a pretty good go of it in this particular game. You just have to really be careful with the choppers. and a lot of people are complaining on the forums saying that the choppers are just way too overpowered, and people don't know how to take them down. Best way to take it down is pull out a rhino. Rhinos are really good. If you haven't used it yet, it's a ground drone that locks onto vehicles. Best way to use that is to get into an area where you can see a lot of the map. Sit back. You don't have to be in the action. In fact, you don't want to be in the action. You want to sit back where you're not seen, where you can easily fire off those missiles, and it's going to be hard for the chopper to track you down. Now, if you're in the chopper and you find yourself being shot down all the time by a rhino, you can press A on the Xbox and it'll shoot out flares, which they refill occasionally. So you can actually, it's a balance thing. It's just kind of like Battlefield. For every move, there's a reaction that somebody else can do that's going to negate that particular move. So it's just, it comes down to skill in the end, but for everything in this game, there's something that will take it out. The LAV is really a good tool. If you get into the secondary gun, you can also take out a chopper with that. And then there's also what you call a proximity launcher that you can launch, but it's with that, all you have to do is get pretty close to the target and then it'll explode. But I've shot down a few items with it, but not much. It takes a few, more than what it's worth. Definitely the Rhino, I believe, is the best choice to be able to take down a chopper. Now, if you're in a chopper also, or with any vehicle, if you're using the drone, help your buddies out. Take the drone over near their vehicle and spot items on the map, and you can really work together. There was a few maps that we were playing earlier tonight, and I was working with one of my teammates. They were in a tank. I was just hovering right above them, looking out all around them, and I would spot everybody that came close to that tank, and they were just wiping them out because they knew exactly where the targets were. So if you're using that drone, cover bases that are being taken. If you've got some of your teammates in a base, defend that base. Let them know when enemies are coming in at it. You can also help out your people who have vehicles. You can run around with them, and you can spot things for them to help them out to get more kills, to be able to, more kills means less people out on the field that's going to be taking bases, especially in ground control. So this is really going to help you out. And one of the best things I can say about Homefront is just be patient. I know a lot of people. It's like a love-hate relationship right now with Homefront. A lot of people love it. A lot of people don't like it. And so I started out not liking it very much. There's a lot of things that still need to be fixed, but I think it can be a pretty good game if they come in here and they fix some of the main components that are troublesome. But anyway, that wraps it up for this video. Stay tuned for more coming from BattleStrats.com. Thanks for watching.